My first thoughts were for Gregory, who, whether he knew it or not, did the right by having death by cop, because the reality is that the history of which Gregory probably did not have, but the history of Kim Philby and others in the West who did ultimately, after being busted for betraying their countries, in the case of Kim Philby, British, and moved to Moscow, all died miserable.
Really?
Yes, these people who went to Russia, and listen, I'm sure even people who are in Moscow today who decided to do things that they should not have are miserable, because it is not a happy place to. First of all, it is a miserable place to live for a Black person.
Russia is like a deeply racist country. So I
Well,
feel like that would not be fun for him.
I will tell you that I specifically remember my first memory of seeing a Black man. Like that's how crazy it was. I was with my father at a metro station in Moscow somewhere, and I saw somebody who was Black, and I almost fell onto the tracks. Like it just doesn't happen, and it is a deeply racist place, and especially to I'm not going to repeat them, but there are tremendously derogatory terms that they used for Black people.
Yeah. Well, in the United States, parts of the United States I can't imagine are much better. So
even the people who were like Kim Philby, who moved to Moscow and lived their lives as traitors to their country, they weren't given the freedom to just walk around like normal people. Like they might have been set up in an apartment, they might have been set up with privileges that normal Russians didn't have, like direct access to a telephone right away and television and so on. But nevertheless, they were followed by the KGB all the time. They were never trusted. They were totally isolated. Learning the Russian language is not easy under the best of circumstances. And it's not like you have a social circle or your family or anybody else. So in the case of Kim Philby, he died basically a miserable alcoholic, as he should have.